Okay, we'll get
Jai
started.
Gurudev, good morning.
Jai Gurudev, welcome everybody for a new session of Ashtavakra with Patti. Thank you for joining us today. So we have people from various geographies and a lot of people participating in the Hangout. And also we've started viewers across different countries who are seeing us right now as well. Welcome everybody to the session with Patti. Um, this has been a very interesting journey to learn and live the knowledge and experience it. Our apologies, we started a little late, so we will just get into meditation, a quick meditation with Patti, and continue the session. Patti, welcome. Thank you.
Very good. And I'm not able to see you. Can that get fixed or no?
That can get fixed as well.
Okay, good.
Yes.
All right, there we go. Okay. So yeah, let's have a nice little short meditation tonight. We'll go a little shorter since we had some technical difficulties. So let's just sit up straight and do what we do best. Close our eyes and take a nice, deep, full breath in. And tonight, when you breathe out, make the sound ha. Just let go of everything. Another breath in, full deep breath. Ha. And one more time. Let's take a deep, full breath in. Hold it. Ha. And let's shake the hand. Shake, shake, shake. Shake your hands. Sitting up straight, just shake. Keep breathing in and out. And nice, relax, relax. Very good, very good, very nice. Again, we'll chant Om together tonight, so let's breathe in. Relax the body. Relax the whole body, your shoulders, your face, all the muscles in your face. Relax your earlobes. Relax your face. Let your body just be. There's nothing to do now. Nothing to take care of. You're just observing your own breath easily going in the nostrils and going out all on its own. Watching your breath. It's just a happening. Something other than you is moving that breath in the nostrils and out. You're just witnessing. What is happening? You're in peace now. You are peace. You are peace. Your feelings are peace. Your thoughts are peace. Your actions are peace. Your being is peace. Let's take another breath in and relax. You are peace. And now let's take a few ujjayi breaths, few victory breaths in and out. As you breathe in, let's bring the shoulders up to the ears and rotate. Breathing out as you complete the rotation. And we'll do a few rotations in the other directions. Breathing in as you bring the shoulders back and up. Exhaling as they come up. Very nice. We'll move the heads from side to side. Maybe you want to hold the side of your head and just feel the stretch along your neck, breathing in and out. In and out. You might feel the tightness in the muscles. Keep breathing in and out. Let's put our microphones on mute. Breathing in and out. Feel the muscles loosening with every inhalation and exhalation. And slowly, don't do it too quick, we'll move to the other side. Feeling the stretch in the neck, breathing in and out, pulling your head to the side. In and out, watching the muscles loosen with every breath. Let's come back to center. Very nice. So we can slowly and gradually open our eyes now. Let's slowly and gradually and happily, peacefully open the eyes now. Good, right?
Very, very good, Patti.
Good, good, good.
Feel very relaxed.
I feel better.
Thank you for guiding us.
You do too. Good, good. So why don't we begin with going over the homework for last week? One of the homeworks was that you were going to write down, I believe, the top 3 fears that you have in life. Does anybody want to share what you wrote down and if you had any ahas after reading or watching You Are Not the Doer with Sri Sri? Someone could share? People wearing blue.
Um, I reflected quite a lot on You're Not the Doer. One of the things which I always think is having the sense of you're not the doer. At certain scenarios, you can't avoid getting into a situation where that takes over you. And then you regret, oh, why didn't I not realize this, doing that? So that's something which, I always didn't understand, or like, how to have that awareness at that real instance.
It comes. It just comes. I don't know how, but I promise it comes. And like anything else on this path, the minute you intend to have the awareness, nature will support you.
Okay.
So, and every time you hear Ashtavakra Gita, every time you hear knowledge that talks about this, it's going deeper into the consciousness. It's like when Guruji says, if you polish gold, it shines more and more. So the more you hear the knowledge, the more you contemplate the knowledge, like we talk about manana, chewing the knowledge. And if somebody can put their microphone on mute, that would be good. There's a lot of static, I think. But don't leave. We're happy you're here. Just put the microphone on mute. Anyway, chewing the knowledge, talking about the knowledge, contemplating the knowledge, together with everything else that you're doing on the path, it just unfolds and it comes. And I'm sure, Anoop, you've had that experience that when you first stepped foot on the path, you heard things, you heard knowledge that you wanted to apply in life, and then over time there was a happening and you realized you handled it differently. You handled it with more wisdom than you would have earlier. Have you had that experience?
Absolutely.
So it works exactly the same way. It really is a happening. But until then, that's why they call it spiritual practice. It has no choice but to unfold in you. That's it.
Very well said. This is very nice.
So what else came up this week for you all on the top 3 fears? Looking at that, your personal fears, maybe you don't want to admit them, that's okay. But did you look at your top 3 fears? Or did you try a food that you could not tolerate? Or you thought you couldn't tolerate? What did you do with the homework? And what experience did you have after going through the homework?
Patti, do you mind if I share?
Yeah, please do.
So, I did not know about the homework, but I had some thoughts about fears, and then one of fear. This was about the knowledge session that that I listened to, and I thought, what was the biggest fear that one would have, and that came out to be death. So the next couple of days, I accidentally ran into CDs on death and afterlife. Uh, these were Guruji's discourses. Something opened up in me. So, like, if death is the biggest fear, why should I be scared about small little things? It could be my job, or it could be, visa or something else. And that opened a little new dimension itself. Like, I should not be worried about anything at all. And just listening to the knowledge itself made me feel at home. And in the same week, there was one other situation which got me into trouble, actually. Not trouble, but tested me, uh, where I was blamed for something that I did not do. And for a moment, I shivered, and but in my mind, I was clear that I was honest and I did not do any mistake. So the same fear was roiling in my head all evening. Did I do a mistake, and why am I blamed? And it was with someone who I work with and someone from Art of Living. So, uh, uh, and then all of a sudden, the knowledge came through that uh, the basic points, the 5 points of the part one course. If I did not do a mistake, or one is being in the present moment, that kind of released me from that fear. And don't be a footballer for others' opinions. That's the second thing, which kind of made me brought back as to that I should not be worried about someone as to what someone thinks about me or says about me. So that totally relieved me on that day, and it gave me a lot of strength in me. That it made me more connected to Guruji. It made me feel so strong, and it also made me realize the importance of the knowledge that Guruji was teaching. The next day, or the next couple of days, I was so strong and I felt so happy and so confident, and nothing touched me. At the same time, I was fully in love with gratitude with Guruji. So just wanted to share that.
Beautiful, so beautiful. There's another knowledge with that. Do you remember from the part one course that, whatever comes to us is due to us? So you don't know, and that's where the knowledge of you are not the doer comes into play. You don't know if there was some karma, some debt, some karmic debt you had with that person, or something was going on the subtle level that a karma was minimized, so you're going to get blamed for something you didn't do.
And this was exactly the same thought that came to me. I just felt that some of my karma is getting lost.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
This was the other point that came to me.
Beautiful.
And it helped me a lot. Sorry.
Good for you. And I love where it led you, is to gratitude for the knowledge and to move through it quicker so that these things will come up, fair, unfair, right, wrong, like, dislike. It's a happening. And you went to that first place, taking care of your own mind and applying the knowledge to help you through it, because it doesn't feel very nice when you get blamed for something you didn't do. But rather than reacting, you use skill in responding from within. So that was brilliant. Brilliant use of the knowledge. Did anybody try a food or do something that they think, I'm afraid of this and no way am I ever going to do this, or I don't like it but I'm going to do it anyway? Did anyone have that experience this week? No? Okay. Well, make sure you do enjoy the homework going forward, because there are things put in there to give you the experience of bringing the knowledge to life. Otherwise, we end up having more of a philosophical discussion. So are there any questions then, Anoop, that we should begin with? Or what?
Yes, there
I
are
have,
questions, Patty.
Okay.
Vivek, do
Are
you
they
have
easy questions? Hard questions?
a question? They're questions for you.
No, they're questions for him. Okay.
Okay, the first question, if you feel that some sort of fear is binding you, then it is related with one of the senses. What techniques can one practice to break it? Suppose it is fear of height, then how can I overcome it? Is it possible to win over it permanently?
You know, Anoop might be laughing because I don't know if he's laughing for the same reason. The best way is to move through it. That's why we had the homework this week. See, that fear of heights, for example, that's just one example. Any fear, it's based on some impression. And if you remember, if you read the knowledge, I hope you did, or watched the video, then Guruji talks about, at the beginning of it, he says, see, maybe you don't like milk. Why do some people like milk and some people don't like milk? Why do some people, they cannot be alone in a room because they're used to being around people? And other people, maybe they got humiliated in a crowd, or they had a bad experience in a crowd, and they don't even remember. It could be from this lifetime, it could be from thousands of lifetimes ago, but now there's an impression where you said to yourself, oh, being in a crowd is not good, I don't like it. And then identification came. So a fear of heights definitely came from an impression where something happened from on high. You know, we're chuckling a little because one of my students was on a DSN in Seattle recently, and it was on DSN will have you go through exactly whatever that fear is, and his was heights. Well, he brought in, I don't know how high the ladder was. It was probably at least 15 feet high, right, Anu?
Yeah, easily more than that.
Easily, maybe 20. Yeah, it was, it was really high. And he put it on the stage, and he was dressed up in a suit, climbed to the top of the ladder, and spoke extemporaneously, completely unplanned, which was his second fear, not to speak publicly without having it all rehearsed. And his other fear was there was a third one, which was something to do with judgment. So now he's doing all three. He's on a ladder in a suit, and it was like 11 o'clock at night, midnight, speaking in the public and speaking off the cuff, nothing planned. And it was the most hilarious, most enjoyable presentation I've seen in a long time. You would never have known he had a fear of heights, and at one point he got so comfortable, we got a little concerned because he was swaying a little bit on the ladder. Now he moved through the fear. Don't think for a second that walking up that ladder, his heart wasn't beating quickly and probably his palms were sweating. But he moved through the fear, and he let go of that attachment by moving through it. So, and now he feels like, wow, I can do anything. And when we do that, see, that fear is making us small, and it's just an illusion based on a past impression. So that is where, obviously, I'm going to tell you, the Kriya comes in, meditation comes in. Hollow and empty guided meditations on the Art of Silence course are profoundly beneficial. The Shakti Kriya, that technique, so many techniques Sri Sri Gurudev has given us to lift these latent tendencies, these impressions, so that we can be free, and we de-link the emotion from the experience, which is what Sudarshan Kriya does. So you move through the fear and realize you are bigger than the fear. I mean, aren't you bigger than the idea of something that makes you small? You are infinite consciousness. You don't know your capacity until you move through and experience something. So based on these limited concepts, we think we can't do something or we are someone, and we inhibit ourselves. Our true nature is we're completely uninhibited. There is no fear. It's just something you told yourself based on a past impression. So just do more silence courses. Do the Shakti Kriya if you haven't done it. Be regular with your sadhana. Do your Padma sadhana. You know, there's a new, there's online videos for Padma sadhana. All these things lift the impressions so that you come back to remembering you are free right now. That's your truth. The other stuff is illusion. It seems very real at the time. It really does seem real, but it's not real. What is your true nature? You were born with your true nature, smiling, innocent. You didn't know anything called fear when you were a little baby. You were just being. You were just present. You were in bliss. That didn't go away. It's in there. It just got a little clouded over. Some clouds came, and through the practices, we moved the clouds away. That's all.
Very beautiful, Patti. I think Manasa has a question very related to that. No matter how many times I do it, I still can't avoid those butterflies before I start the task. How can I resolve it?
Embrace the butterflies and do it anyway. That's it. Take the breath, you know, that we learned on the happiness program or the Our Living course, taking a breath in, doing that 3 or 4 times will settle it down, and know that it's natural. People who speak all the time publicly, famous performers will tell you they'll feel the butterflies, but there's a difference between those who feel it and pull back and those who feel it and go forward. And that is so empowering. And it's through those experiences that you find what you're really made of. So I'll give you an example. Years ago, when I did go to the Middle East, when I finally saw Guruji and I talked about the obstacles and what I went through, and it was difficult over there, teaching for 6 months. A lot of obstacles, people obstacles, cultural obstacles, many obstacles, every obstacle you can think of just about. And safety obstacles, security obstacles, blah, blah, blah. And there were many times that I thought, this doesn't even seem right, that I should move through this. But I did. I didn't really have a choice. And when I said to Guruji there were a lot of obstacles, he said how great that was, and not to remove the obstacles. It's because when that fear is there, the obstacles, he didn't say fear, he said when those obstacles are there and you move through it, that's when all the talents, that's when the cities come. So before you have a task and you feel fearful that you're going to fail, you're not going to be successful at it, that's just the ego trying to make you feel small. That's the ego when it's not worth anything. The other part of the ego that will help you in that is when that's when you pump yourself up and you say, I can do it. I feel fearful, but I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to feel the fear and do it anyway. You come through the other side and wow, you really do roar like a lion. You feel proud of what you did. And even if you failed, so what? Big deal. That's how you learn. I mean, if everything went well and there were no obstacles and we were always so sure of ourselves right from the get-go, we wouldn't have that context to draw on that gives us that ability to connect with one another and inspire one another and have compassion for one another. So feel the fear, do it anyway. Climb the mountain all the way. A lot of people get to the top of a mountain and they stop just short because it takes forbearance. It takes, something deep inside you to move through. Most people give up. But those who climb, you ask anyone who's gone all the way, an Olympic athlete or someone who's climbed the Himalayas, anyone who's done a sport and gone all the way through will tell you it was worth it. They were afraid, but they did it anyway, and it was worth it.
So beautiful. I remember Guruji tweeting one very nice quote this week about that, saying, "Destiny belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams and have the courage to pursue it. Don't stop when you're tired, stop when you're done." It reflects so very well to what you just said, Patti.
Exactly. I learned it all from him. Nice.
So beautiful.
Yeah, it takes courage.
Absolutely.
That's why we admire people who feel the fear and do it anyway. Because that's actually you relating with your true self. Next.
Yes. So we have a question. Guruji mentions that yoga, knowledge, and love form three flavors of this one phenomenon that is life. I understand that yoga includes Sudarshan Kriya, Pranayama, and meditation. We do these to overcome sorrow which might happen in near future. Knowledge satisfies our urge to know more about deeper realities of life, which takes us beyond logic and intellect. What do you mean by heightened awareness here? Cannot understand this correctly. Please guide.
I missed a little bit though. We went from yoga, knowledge, and love to heightened awareness. So where was the?
So
I missed something there.
So I think the question is broken. Okay, I got it. So the question has been broken down. So what practices we should do to understand love? As yoga is a daily practice, knowledge can be read and heard, understand, and it takes us to a new dimension. But then what about love? How we do to understand love or feel Guruji? But can't get enough out of it. What needs to be done in aspect of life to make life more juicier? The question is not framed very well, but that's how it has been typed in the forum.
Okay.
It's the question about how do you realize heightened awareness or even have context to what is heightened awareness in spite of doing all these yoga, pranayama, and meditation.
I don't think that's actually the question. I think the question is, from what I'm hearing, is they want to know how to have more experience that you are love. So the way that happens is getting rid of, loosening, dropping the veil on everything that you aren't. You aren't fear. You aren't worry. You aren't anger. You aren't inhibition. You aren't your body. You aren't the mind. And how do we have that? How do we realize that we're love? It's in the process of sharing love. And through the techniques, the heightened awareness, it just comes with it. Where is it coming from? It's coming from your prana increasing. So it's coming from the food you eat, the company you keep, how you spend your time, and walking the spiritual path. So the heightened awareness through the Sudarshan Kriya and through meditation, it comes because it's a blossoming of your consciousness. It's already there. It just the same thing as we talked about earlier. It just got clouded by thoughts and doubts and impressions that are not who you are. So when you sit for meditation or when you come out of the Sudarshan Kriya, then you have to ask yourself, what am I experiencing? Anybody I've ever taught says, I feel lighter, I feel free, I feel like I could run a marathon, I feel connected, I feel happy. This is a truth because you're getting a glimpse of who you really are, and you are love. So when we forget that, then I say go out, share it, do a random act of kindness, and connect with someone. See that reflection of who you really are in their eyes by uplifting someone else and giving love, expecting nothing in return. Just giving love to give love, not going with a begging bowl, but going with a bowl that's abundant and never ending, never empty, full of love, and sharing it. You'll see, you'll have the experience. You can't do it at the level of the intellect because, like Guruji says, love is not an emotion. It's your very existence. And that's when the juice in life comes. That's when the expansion happens. And that's when it all unfolds like a lotus blossom together. So that's why, like on DSN and other courses, when you learn Padma Sadhana, what is Padma Sadhana? It is the lotus blossom. It's the spiritual practice that reminds us we're a lotus blossom, and all those 16 levels of consciousness, or dimensions you could call them, all the 16 different lotus petals fully unfold so that you experience the full blossoming of your personality, the totality of the consciousness. And who had that? We know that Krishna had that. Krishna was all 16 lotus blossoms, all 16 Deva's qualities. I don't know what else to call it. The petals from within, in that comes from the heightened awareness and the consciousness had unfolded. That's why he was. He had the mischievousness of a child. He had the depth of wisdom. He would be so politically astute, and the next minute he'd be like a kid, you know, playing a game. He had everything, the complete totality. Now, that's our true nature. That's your true nature. And you do those things, and you'll see it'll become your experience. You'll realize it as your truth. So I would say for you this week, stop thinking about it so much. Go out and do 5 random acts of kindness this week. Don't think about it from the logical mind. Do your sadhana. Add 1 extra round of pranayama just this week. Just do 1 extra round of pranayama with Vastrika just for 5 days. And you tell me what your experience of heightened awareness is. Don't do it more than that because you might end up getting too high if you do it for too long, but do it for 5 days, an extra round of pranayamas, and let's see what happens. And then you can share with us next week, whoever asked the question. Does it make sense? I'm not sure. Did it make sense what I was saying?
Absolutely.
You all?
Yes.
Yeah? Okay. You would tell me if it didn't.
I think you also gave an actionable thing, how to experience heightened awarenesses. That makes a big difference.
Yeah, it happens. You open your eyes after meditation and after Sudarshan Kriya. Observe. You have heightened awareness. And you do it every day. You're refining your nervous system. And just start to watch. You know, a couple things we can also think about is, what were you like when you stepped foot on the path, and what are you more aware about now? I think sometimes we sell ourselves short on the path. We're always thinking we should be more, or there's something else. It's perfect right now. And you can't sit there, you know, trying to make heightened awareness happen. nature unfolds it from within you. So that's another thing that you can do is take a look. It's a very nice practice to look at where was I a month ago, 6 months ago, 6 years ago? Where was I, and what's my awareness like since I stepped foot on the path? Listen, I watch, just go drive on the road and you'll notice your awareness is very different. There's a different quality between the awareness of a meditator and someone who doesn't meditate. Watch people on the road. Watch people in the airport. Watch your own family. Watch people around you, and you'll see there is a difference between those who meditate and those who don't. Just like there's a difference between a drunk and a man who is aware. What's the difference? The drunk has no idea where he is and what's happening, and the man who is aware, he knows exactly where he is and what's happening. It's that simple. It's that simple. Guruji's amazing. You watch Guruji talk about heightened awareness, he doesn't miss a thing. That's another nice practice. You can watch Gurudev. I mean, he doesn't miss anything. I'll never forget walking from the old ashram in Bangalore when we were building Vishalakshi Mantap. And it was still in the construction stages, and millions of people were going to come from around the world. And just from the old ashram where we were still staying to the Vishalakshi Mantap, Guruji noticed, the smallest detail of a bush that looked like it wasn't being watered enough. Now, if you've ever walked from the old ashram in Bangalore to the new ashram or anything like that, there's so many bushes, there's so many trees, there's so much foliage. To notice one bush out of millions of bushes that wasn't watered, I found amazing. At the same time, he was watching what was going on with the building of the new dining hall. At the same time, he was aware, asking questions about the building and the progress and the status of the new Mantap. At the same time, there was a discussion going on about should we do a meditation for the workers, a second meditation to help their energy through the day. At the same time, he leaned to the left and noticed one rose on one bush that there was something going on. I don't remember what with the rose. I'll never forget it. Every step he took in every moment, that awareness was so sharp of everything around him, of his own self, of what's going on with everyone around him, because he's at the height of awareness and he is at one with everything. So it becomes just a flow, a dance. Don't be in such a hurry. It will come. It will come. It's there. It's your true nature.
Very beautiful, Patti. This is very beautiful. Do we have time for another question?
Let me plug my computer in. Yes, of course we do.
Okay, this is a nice question.
I thought the last one was a nice question.
Every question is nice. Guruji always mention the ultimate truth, your pure consciousness, and nothing can even touch you. Under the umbrella of this ultimate knowledge, I have a question that raised on my mind while I was reading the chapter 4, You're Not the Doer. What happens to the mind if we don't have any prerequisites regarding our likes, dislikes, abilities, etc.? Of course, consciousness in its pure form there. And what about the state of mind if we don't have a bit of these prerequisites? Please enlighten me, dear Patti.
You'll be enlightened. That's it. That's the answer. A short answer for a long question. Next.
Okay. That was a beautiful answer. Really beautiful answer.
The ego might want a complicated answer, but they're simple.
Okay. I have heard and experienced that the central core of our existence is positive, and yet have to heard and experience that no is more powerful than yes. Kindly enlighten on what could be the mechanics behind these two seemingly contradictory facts.
I have no idea what the mechanics are. Zero idea. I think if you asked Gurdjieff, he'll never tell you. But the experience is the core of every person is so positive. See, like yesterday, or the last 2 days, I also went through an experience of somebody putting blame on me, slandering my name, creating a lot of trouble based on complete illusion. And I addressed it with the person. I confronted the person on what they were doing. And the person today sent a long apology. And I really didn't need the apology. I wanted that person to be aware of the Maya they had created and the impact it was having on other people. I could care less what somebody says about me anymore. But it was impacting my the satsang, and the person wasn't looking good. They were looking foolish out of doing it. And the whole time, though, I realized, oh, plug this in. I realized, sorry, my computer was going to crash there. I knew the intention of the person was pure. The expression had sand in it. In their heart, they were doing what they really thought was the right thing, but they had no awareness of the impact it was having on other people and on a situation and on the greater whole, until a few of us helped them to become aware of it. And then you let it go, you know, because the intention was so pure. If you could see everyone like that and everything like that, then you will be free of any negativity, but yet negativity does exist in the world. Opposite values are complementary. And that's our role, is to become, I wouldn't even say become, return to the knowledge that we are free now, that we are not the doer, that it's all a happening, and that, you know, in the heart of every culprit is peace, love, and joy, the same as it is in you. And when we come from that space, then we're able to settle down and accept the opposites in the world and take skillful action to uplift, beginning with ourselves. And that, to me, is a life worth living. I hope that answered it. The mechanics, no idea. I also get kind of hung up, and I wouldn't say hung up, but I've had that curiosity, and I tell you, one time I was asking Gurudev, I always had that, how does it work, you know? And Guruji said, leave, how did he say it? He said, why do you have so many, not why, no, he made a statement because he would never say why, he knows why. He said, you have so many questions. And I was curious, like you are, the person writing the question. I found it fascinating, the mechanics. I wanted to know. But that would be like asking, what are the mechanics of how the butterfly flies? Isn't the butterfly beautiful? Don't you enjoy the experience of seeing the butterfly and the colors and the patterns and how it floats and lands on a flower and sips the nectar? I find it absolutely beautiful. If I get into the mechanics, I get into the dry, logical explanation of how it works, it doesn't really add any value to my life. So Guruji at that time had said, I said, well, it's a mystical path, Gurudev, so I want to know. He said, we'll leave the mystery and mystical. So I have. And I realized it was just my intellect wanting to get caught up to understand, some curiosity, something. I don't know why, but it's one day all the answers will be revealed at the right time, in the right place, when you can make the right use of it. Until then, just know that you're love, peace, and positive inside. That's it. That's the real you.
Very beautiful.
Anything, burning questions or anything anybody wants to ask who's on the video before we end the evening? Because I don't want to keep you guys past your time frame. I'm sure you need to eat dinner and things like that. Nothing?
Anybody has I have a story to share, but we'll share a little later. Okay.
Okay. Who is that? Okay. All right. Oh, yes. Okay, don't see any questions.
So we've covered all the questions for today, Patti.
Okay, wonderful. So next week's chapter is what? I don't think I have that in front of me. Let me see what we have in our book. Ah, Fountain of Joy. You are a fountain of joy. So I really want to ask you again each week to do a couple of things. Read it, review it, chew it, apply it when it comes to the knowledge. Enjoy what has been put together and participate with what you have on Sri Sri e-learning. Keep the questions coming. It really is making a rich experience for all of us, so I really appreciate it. And if you even want to, you don't have a question, but you want to give a comment, you can send that to us too, and then invite your friends to join us next week. And we'll see Guruji in the U.S. pretty soon. June 23rd, he'll be in Washington, D.C. So I'll see some of you when we're with the Guru, and the rest of you will stay in our heart where you always live. Jai Gurudev.
Jai Gurudev. Thank you so much today. It's so beautiful to live the knowledge, share, and experience this every week. We look forward to having you next week, Patti.
Okay,
Do our homework. Let's do our homework. Let's read it, revive it, chew it, and apply it like you said.
That's the best way. Jai Gurudev. Bye-bye.
Yeah.